Hello everyone, so thank you for joining this presentation today. I hope next time it will be a face-to-face presentation. So today I'm going to speak about hunting malicious domain at scale with AI and basically transform the hunting from reactive approach to proactive approach. And not just using a block list or threat intelligence feed, but understand the real intent of malicious domain, of course, using AI. So I will cover the problem that we have today when we try to hunt malicious domain or try to investigate them, the architecture that I've built in order to implement such a project, and to fix this issue. Real use cases I've investigated using the AI project, code overview that I will show you some snippets from my code so you can implement it in your project if you wish. Nothing special, don't worry. Limitations, of course, this project has limitations. Nothing is perfect, as you know, so we will review some limitations. And something to expect from this presentation is that it's not a presentation about replacing analysts or researchers with AI. It's about reducing noise, accelerating hunting using automation and AI. Now, some information about myself. So my name is Zohar. I'm working at Kato Networks at the control team. I'm 30 years old. I have two lovely boys, and I'm married. I have more than 10 years of experience. My core expertise are threat intelligence, reverse engineering, and malware analysis, and more. So nice to meet you all. Now, let's deep dive into the challenges and the issues that we have today. So, first challenge that we have is scale and speed. So, new domains are created and weaponized within minutes these days, often before they ever appear in threat intelligence feed. That means that if you are using threat intelligence feed in your system, most likely that they are way back before the threat actors. Because if threat actors will register a new domain, then it means that this new malicious domain or this threat will not be recognized by the threat intelligence feed, and most likely that it will slip through by default. Another issue that we have these days is the reactive approach against the proactive approach. So these days we are using the reactive approach, the reactive data, meaning that we're using threat intelligence feeds that they are deterministic, meaning if a domain is found in threat intelligence feed, then it's malicious, and if not, then we assume it is safe. However, unfortunately, attackers move much faster than these threat intelligence feeds. So, in order to fill the gap of this issue, analysts and researchers have to investigate manually a lot of unknown domains when they try to investigate an alert in their systems. They try to dig into sandboxes reports, HTML data, DOM data, JavaScript code, etc. And basically, that is not something that scale. And the result of this issue is high analyst fatigue, misreads, and poor prioritization. Now, in order to fix this issue, we need to shift our approach from asking is this domain is on a block list to a new approach which asking what is this domain trying to do, to try to understand using AI what is the real intent of the malicious domain. So AI can assist in that. Instead of relying on historical data, AI analyzes the domain structure, the naming patterns, the page content, and everything is done in real time. It can identify phishing, malware, etc. And it can detect brand impersonation, credential harvesting, and suspicious scripts such as obfuscated scripts or any other suspicious scripts that are used inside the code of the domain. Now, a key advantage of the AI is that it can provide us explanation of what the conclusion that he got to. So, for example, if I give the AI to analyze a domain and he give me a one-line reason to why he got to the conclusion that a domain is malicious, then it will make me trust the result. It can reduce the investigation time, it can reduce the noise, and even I can validate as analyst or as a researcher, I can validate the result of the AI and basically validate whether the results are false positive or true positive. And what it can provide me is that I'm acting much faster and not consuming time. So basically it gives me the detection of suspicious domain. Basically it enables me to detect suspicious domain within minutes with automatic enrichment, classification, and automatic response. So I'm shifting the approach from reactive approach to a proactive approach. Now let's deep dive into the pipeline of how we can implement it and how we can do it. Let's start with the first phase, which is ingestions. We need to ingest the domains to our AI layer. So we can take the domains from the DNS logs, from the URLs that we receive in our emails if we collect them. Of course, we can use threat intelligence feed that we ingest to our system. If you are also ingesting newly registered domain feeds, you can use them also in order to ingest the AI. Now, the next phase is the enrichment phase. So once I have all the list of the domains, I need to send them to a sandbox such as URL scan.io. So I will get the HTML code, the screenshots, the images, the redirect, the scripts, etc. Now I can relate this data with WHOIS data, with hosting data about the hosting provider, the ASN, and all kind of other information that I have in order to enrich the data that I have about the domain. Now, the next phase is the AI layer, basically the analysis of all the data that I gave the AI. So what the AI does, it evaluates the context and the page behavior such as HTML structure, forms, scripts, redirects, images, resources. And of course, if I gave him WHOIS data or ASN or hosting provider data, then it can correlate all this data, and combining all those signals, it detects indicators like phishing pages, impersonation pages, obfuscation scripts, and it can assign to the domain or to the analysis that I gave him a clear risk with a clear explanation that will explain me why the AI concluded that this is a malicious domain. Now, the final step of this approach is, of course, react upon this analysis. So if I making a decision that the AI will analyze me a domains, and then all the malicious domain will be sent to a Slack alert through a Slack alert to a Slack channel, I can review or react upon these alerts, or even I can send it directly to my SIEM or directly to my firewall rules, or even review it manually if I don't trust the analysis. But basically, instead of manual investigation, I just need to figure out what priority this alerts or this analysis can give me and act upon it. So basically it enables me faster response, better prioritization, reduced noise, because I don't need to investigate every domain. The AI will do it to me. I just need to react upon this, and I'm not replacing the analyst or the researchers. I'm just augmenting them with much more data, and which they can react to this data and take actions upon the decision I am taking, using, of course, AI and automation. So again, we are moving from reactive approach of investigation and analysis and to proactive approach, where we react to our automatic investigation. Now, let me quickly walk through how this works end to end by examining the code. Let's see. So first, we have the URL scan.io enrichment. So as you can see here, I've implemented some script in Python that will implement URL scan.io API. So basically, I'm getting the domain or the whois data. In that case, I just needed the domain. So I'm sending this domain to the URL scan.io. URL scan.io enables me to get the HTML data, the screenshot, the redirects, etc. Afterwards, the next step is that this data, the HTML, the screenshots, all the data that I got, moved into the AI layer, where I created very basic prompt, which will try to analyze the data that I gave and to give me a clear verdict whether this is malicious, benign, or unclear. And just if the verdict will be malicious, then it will send it to me to a Slack alert, to a special Slack channel that I've created. Of course, you can change it easily, so it will be sent to your SIEM or your firewall rules or whatever you wish. So, for example, this is Slack alert that I got from my analysis, from the AI analysis. So as you can see, we can see the domain, we can see the verdict, which is malicious, and we can see one line of explanation by the AI why it thinks that this is a malicious domain. Now, importantly, this is not something theoretical. This is something that are already implemented, and this is the result of it, as you can see. And it's very easy for implementation. So once we figured out how we're doing it and what we need to do, let's deep dive to some real cases that I've investigating using this approach, this AI approach. So first of all, as you all know, fake CAPTCHA is a known threat these days. Basically, very, very popular threat these days in order to infect machines with malware. So, as you can see in the left side, this is the prompt that I've inserted to it. You can see the malicious domain inside the prompt, and then a snippet of the DOM. However, this is just a snippet, but in the real case, I've inserted the whole DOM, so the AI will analyze the whole DOM. Now, let's see how it looks on URL Scan.io. So you can see that on the screenshot of URL Scan.io, it presenting me a CAPTCHA. Now, before I analyze this CAPTCHA or this domain, I cannot know whether this is malicious or not. Of course, URL Scan did mention to me that this is a malicious domain. However, I don't know why this verdict is malicious. I don't know why this domain is considered as malicious, and I need to investigate it. But if I will send it to my AI prompt and using the AI in order to investigate it, I will very, very fast will get the reason that this domain is malicious. So as you can see, first of all, I can see the verdict, malicious. Now, then the AI with a one-liner, not more than that, can explain me what does he see in this domain that got him to the conclusion that this is malicious domain. For example, he can mention that there is a fake Cloudflare page and some resources here that are suspicious, and combining all those artifacts, he got to the conclusion that this is a malicious domain, and of course is correct, and this is a true positive, and this is a real fake CAPTCHA. So in that case, the AI investigation, the AI analysis was totally correct. Now let's move and break down all the malicious artifacts that the AI analyzed. So first of all, you can see on the left side, fake CAPTCHA Cloudflare page. We can see some HTML referencing to Cloudflare. However, this is not a real CAPTCHA. Now, not everything in this artifact must be true or suspicious. However, when I conclude all the artifacts together, I need to get to the conclusion that this is a malicious domain. So the first, I would say, artifact could be suspicious, but I'm not sure. Now let's move to the second artifact in the left side. So no indexing directive, meaning somebody using HTML tags that will be enabling to avoid search engines, to ignore this page. Basically, it directs the search engines to avoid indexing this page. This is something that could be suspicious, but again, not something that very, very suspicious that will, I would say, be a red flag for me. Now, in the third artifact, I can see that there is some suspicious external assets. The page loads images from unrelated domain, and as you can see, the AI flagged it as a major red flag because services like Cloudflare don't put assets from random domains. This suggests this is a malicious infrastructure. Now, I would say that in the fourth artifact, the fourth artifact in the right side is, I would say, the most malicious artifact that we have. So what we have there, the fake CAPTCHA implementation, the iframe that loads a local file, the captcha HTML file. So basically in that local file, there is the real fake captcha, or the real, I would say, implementation of the captcha. And this is what got me and the AI to the conclusion that this is a fake captcha, and this alone, however, basically this alone artifact is enough to flag this domain as malicious. However, when I conclude all the other artifacts, of course, I got to the conclusion that this is a suspicious, malicious, even malicious, not suspicious domain. So that's how I investigated, and this is how the AI investigated, and it got to the conclusion that this is a fake captcha, which is totally true. Let's move on to another case. So now we have a Netflix phishing domain. Let's see the prompt. The prompt is basically the same. I give him the domain. I give him the DOM. Here we have just some snippet of the DOM. However, in my project, I gave him the whole DOM. Let's see how it looks like on URL scan.io. You can see the screenshot of the page. Just by seeing the screenshot, I can identify this is a Netflix phishing. However, if I don't know to say it or don't know to figure it out, then of course URLs can mention this is a malicious domain, but I still don't know why. Let's see what the AI investigation will lead us to. So, of course, again, we are seeing that the verdict that the AI gave us is malicious. Now, it explains us why. So we can see that the AI explained this is a deceptive Netflix domain with fake captcha, typical for phishing and filtering pages. Now, let's, of course, this is true positive, and again, this is a real Netflix phishing domain, and again, the AI analysis was true. Now, let's break down again all the malicious artifacts. So, first of all, we have some in the left side, some bot filtering evidence, some costume mask challenge, basically some a captcha that the phishing infrastructure implemented in order to avoid automatic analysis, automatic scans such as URL scan or any other scanners that we have. So it implemented a captcha. Now that could be malicious, but I'm still not sure. I need to verify more artifacts and continue with my investigation. So I have the second artifact, which is fake reCAPTCHA claim. Basically, the page claims that it's protected by reCAPTCHA, but there is no actual CAPTCHA on the script. It's just some HTML tags. So that is done in order to build trust on security analyst or researcher or even automatic scans that scan this domain. Now let's move on. I have the hidden honeypot field. Basically, there is hidden input field, again designed to trap bots and evade bots and evade some automatic scanning. Basically, this is basic bot filtering to protect the page from scanning. Again, this could be something malicious, but it could be also some benign activity. So I need to move on and investigate much more artifacts in order to get to the conclusion whether this is malicious or not. Now let's move to the right side. So again, I have search engine blocking with the no index meta tag, which prevents search engine from indexing the page. Again, anti-bot code. Now, I think that the most, I would say, malicious artifacts are coming now. They are the last artifacts. So first of all, there is a known brand suspicious asset. What it means? It means that the page loads local assets instead of official Netflix infrastructure. Now, on a real Netflix page, it would be very suspicious because real Netflix page use trusted CDNs, uses Netflix resources, and not some local unknown resources. Now, this is very suspicious. And there is missing branding indicator. What does it mean? It means that first of all, an empty title on a page of Netflix, very, very suspicious. This is something that is not regular, because in a real Netflix page, I would see a title of Netflix. I would see something that will tell me that this is a legitimate Netflix page, and in this case we don't see it. So this makes this artifact very, very suspicious. And if I can conclude all the artifacts that we have seen, so none of them by itself is very, very malicious. However, when I conclude all the artifacts that I saw, I can definitely say that this is malicious domain, and I can definitely flag it as a malicious Netflix phishing domain. And of course, the AI explained me every artifact with a one line, or if I don't need a deep dive analysis, then I can go back to the one line, which explains me why this is a Netflix phishing domain. All right, so let's move on to a more, I would say, advanced threat hunting approach. So now we have investigated single domains, but AI can assist us in order to analyze not just one single domain, but the whole campaign. Now, let me explain you why. Because attackers rarely rely on just one domain. When they upload a campaign, they reuse the same infrastructure, meaning the same template, the same script, the same hosting providers, the same IP ranges in order to register or to build an entire campaign with a lot of domains. Now, if I have identified using the AI and my automation single domain and all the artifacts that it has, I can identify basically the whole campaign, and AI can assist me in that investigation very easily, because it can compare all the assets and all the artifacts that he found very quickly to all other domains in the campaign. So for example, if there is the same HTML structure, for example, identifying similar code patterns or DOM trees, if there are the same scripts on different domains, shared JavaScript, shared images, even same obfuscation, same ASN or IP region or TLS certificates, etc. All these artifacts, when they are used again and again on different domains, and we already concluded that they are malicious, I can use the AI to hunt the whole campaign and the whole infrastructure, and not just hunt not just investigate a single domain. And basically, this gives me the ability to shift my approach from reactive, meaning blocking one domain or investigating one single domain and blocking only this domain, to blocking the all domains of this infrastructure or of this campaign, and moving to a more proactive approach. Now, after we have concluded all, I would say, the artifacts and the investigation approach, let's see what challenges there are in these projects. Of course, nothing is perfect and there are challenges in this approach. So, first of all, evasion techniques. So, threat actor can implement evasion techniques in order to evade this kind of analysis. For example, gear restriction. They can block some geographical restriction in order to evade such analysis. They can block IP ranges in order to evade automatic scanners. They can implement a CAPTCHA in order that our analysis, our automatic analysis, will not be able to analyze their domains. For example, if they will implement a CAPTCHA, then we will not be able to provide the data from URL scan.io. And also, they can implement a prompt injection, meaning manipulating AI analysis and evading the AI using prompt injection. Of course, they can implement sandbox detection and automatic scan detection and then evade these detections. So they have few techniques in order to evade our analysis. Now let's talk about operational hardness. For example, false positive. Of course, this analysis is not perfect and there are false positive. So we might mark legitimate domains, mostly login forms, as phishing or as malicious domains. If there are unknown domains and there are not domains or infrastructure of a known vendor, then our AI analysis can mistakenly flag them as malicious phishing domains or unknown domains, and it can cause us false positive, and therefore we need the human reviewer in order to review the results and still watch the results and verify the verdicts that the AI basically gives us. Now, another thing that is very common on this infrastructure or campaigns is the short-lived domains, meaning when threat actors register or upload a new domain or a new infrastructure, it will not live forever. Most likely that after 24 hours, they will replace the domain, they will replace the infrastructure, they will reuse the same infrastructure to another domain. And then if we didn't analyze it very quickly, then we will lose the data and we will not be able to determine if this domain is malicious or not. And basically we will not be able to determine that we are seeing now a threat actor campaign or a malicious artifact. As I said, we always need human in the loop in order to verify the results of the AI, because it's not perfect and it has false positive, and we would like to verify it with humans and not replace them. So let's conclude the whole presentation that we have seen and learned today. So first of all, we need to transform our approach from reactive approach to proactive approach to automatic approach using AI, so we can reduce noise, make it faster, and be one step ahead of the threat actors. Visibility. We need to stop trying to understand whether a domain is blocked or not, or known to a threat intelligence feed, but we need to investigate the real intent, the real purpose of any domain in real time, and we can do it only using AI, as of course we cannot analyze every domain that we see in our network or in our logs. Efficiency. Again, with AI or automatic approach using AI, we can reduce time of noise, of false positive alerts. We can reduce the time of analysis, and we can basically reduce the time that we need to spend on this, I would say, investigation, and just focus on the high risk alerts and on the real malicious alerts and real malicious domain or infrastructure, whatever we are investigating. Scale. As we said, we can scale this approach not just to investigate single domain, but to investigate a lot of domains, or even if we want to add the whole infrastructure, the whole campaign in a very, very fast approach, and do it faster than the threat actors. So that's all from my end. Thank you for listening to this presentation today. I hope next time we will meet face to face. But if you have any question, feel free to drop me a question over the LinkedIn, and I'll be much more than happier to answer you and assist you in such projects or any question that you have about this approach or the presentation. So thank you very much. It was a pleasure.